Hi, good morning everybody. Today I will explore the C language program. What is program? A program is a set of instruction. Every C program has a definite structure. Like, for example, in the human body also like how definite structure, hand, nose, mouth, etc. Next, C is a structured program language. It is a considered high-level language because it allows the program to concentrate on the problem at hand, not worry about the machine that the program will be using. That is another reason why it is used by software developer whose application have to run on many different hardware platforms. The C program structure have there are different types. First one is pre-processed directive. Pre-processed directive means slash include studio.h slash include conio.h. Slash include studio.h means standard input output dot getter file. That printf and scanf function, both functions present in the studio.h. Next, conio.h means console input output.h. The CLRS gets the both function present in the console.h. Before every program, before execution, the header file is linked to the header file. Every program have only one main function. The main function have two parts: local declaration, statement. Next, there are two type of declaration: local variable, global variable. Local variable means the value accessed in the block. Global variables the value accessed in the outside the block. Next section is user subprogram section, says as a need in user declared in the program section. Here some example, simple program print hello world, header file is there. The header file studio.h is the preprocessed directive. Here the printf means the print the value on the screen. Next, next variable. What is variable? The variable means name of the memory location. How variable? Only at a time, only one value initialized to the only one value initialized to the variable, not a declare multiple value, because we declare only one variable. Identifier means it's just a name. It's also just name. Once we the present all complete language is identified, the identifier allows us to name data and other object in the program. Each identified object in the computer stored at a unique address. The The C types have four types: void, integral, floating point derived, the Boolean, character, integer, real, imaginary, complex. The integer have short int, long int. Um, there are different type of data types: int, float, char. Int have 2 or 4 bytes, double have 4 or 8 bytes. It is depend on machine. Next, the float also 4 bytes, long double also 8 bytes. It is depend on machine. Integer means only integer value only allowed. Float means only pointing value only allowed. Char means only character means only allowed. Double means only long value only allowed. That is a data type. Here the range here shows in the slides, the range: short int, long int, float, double, long double. Here categories: void, types, integral, floating point. What here the example: char. Char is means character. Here the variable, the code is a variable identifier. Int means data type integer. I is a variable. Here long means long integer. Float means the pay rate. Double means pi value. How variable initialization? Once a variable is declaration, how variable initialization? The variable first declaration int a semicolon. Next variable initialization, int a equal to 1. when the variable declaration when the variable declaration, then suddenly the name given to the memory location. When the value initialized to the variable, the value is stored in the memory location. Next, what is constant? Constant means once the value is initialized, it cannot change during program execution. Um, The const are data value that cannot be changed during execution of program, like variable, constant have type. In this section, we discuss Boolean, character, integer, real, complex, and string constant. There are ASCII character. Here is the boundary values there. Here next topic is data types. Here next topic is data types. Carrots are common private data type. Carrot string user defined data type. Design of inner emissions temperature data type. The design of structured data type including arrays, record, union, set types, pointer, and heap management. Here, every program language need a variety of data types in a better model match the well. The data types make a programming easy to many data types might be confusing. The data types are most common, which types are usury, which data types are uncommon yet useful. How are the data types implement the program language? Next, evolution of data type in the 1956 integer, real, arrays, ADA. The user can create unique type of every category of variables in the problem. Space how the system enforce the type. And the discrete is a collection of attribute of variable. The design is used for all data type. What is the syntax reference to variable? These types are supported directly in the hardware or machine, not depending types of other types. Integer, short int, integer, long int, floating point, real, double, precision, decimal, one digit per 1 by 2 bytes, boolean true or false, 1 or 0. The model real numbers, but only is optimization. The language for scientific is support at least 240 point types, sometimes more. Usually exact like the hardware, but not always. Some language allow accuracy, expecting code. Example ADA. The type speed is digits, 7 range, 1 byte sign, 8-bit exponent, 23-bit Mandisa. The double precision, 64-bit represent with 1 bit sign, 11, 64 exponent, 54 Mandisa. The business applications store fixed number decimal digit. For example, the bank application have more money is deposited. That case, we want a decimal and a boolean could be in this bit, but often some byte address readability. The character string. What is string? String. There are character another primitive type which map easily to integer. The single character is enclosed with single quotes. The string is enclosed with double quotes. That is a string. Here in the 5070 ABCD section, the binary code decimal interchange code uses 5 bits to represent the character. The America ASCII means America Standard Code for Information Interchange. The character string type or sequence of character. It is a primitive type or just a Bessel kind of array. Length of object static or dynamic. The type of string operation assignment, comparison, catenation, substring, reference, pattern matching. The caret string. The string be primitive or definable as array of cats. In C, C++ ADA strings are not primitive, but primitive is specified as a bracket arrays, direct as well as than or greater than comparison, etc. In Java, strings are object and have a method to support string operation. Example length. So string have a static or dynamic length can be accessed using integers. The string example had elaborate pattern matching, common ADA static length strings. The variable length is static fixed strings. Some languages such as Noble, Perl, and TCL have built-in support for string and operations. The string manipulates language data types with many operations, including elaborated pattern matching. The pattern are different the types of regular expression, providing a very powerful facility. The string length option 47790 Cobol 419 character length equal to 59. The character string type evaluation A2 writability primitive type with static length. They are provide to why not have them. The length is nice but is worth the expanse in the length compile time descriptor. The dynamic length may need a runtime but not in C++. The need runtime descriptor DLX is the biggest problem. The defined ordinal types. The ordinal types is one which range of value can be easily associated with a set of positive integers. The user dynamic to all of the which are given symbolic constant using for loops, case statement, etc. The ordinal is a classical for etc. periods or already cannot be input or output easily. Cannot reuse the constant. They can be used as subscript for variable case selectors. Now can be combined. The constant can be reused for already literals. Can be input output. The C++ like C or Pascal expert, they can be input output as integer. The other example allows a symbolic concept to appear in then one type. Standard Pascal does not one of the few languages that allow to name value in more than one enumerated type. The ordinal type implementation. The implement is the straightforward enumerated types or implement as non-negative integers. The subranges types or parent types which code inserted by the compiler to restrict assignment to subrange variables. The evolution of enumeration type efficiency. Now compiler can and use a compact efficient. Example small integer readability. Example no need to code a color is a number. Maintainability. Example adding a color does not require updating hard code constant. Reliability. A compiler can check operation range of values. The array types. What is array? What is difference between array, variable, structure? Variable means only one value inserts to the variable. Suppose for example our class has 60 students. We declare 60 variables and insert 60 values. We take more memory allocation. The memory efficiency is very low. I take more time for execution. The memory take more space. So this is overcome to the array. Array means homogeneous. Homogeneous. Yes, it store integer data type or floating data type or char data type. And at a time, only single data type store in the memory. And there are different type of array: one dimensional array, single dimensional array, multi-dimensional array. Next, structure. What is structure? The structure means store different data type: int, float, char, double, etc. We store at a time store 60 student details in the memory using structure. A structure is the best programming uh, in our world. Example: colleges, hospital, banking, etc. The index map into the array to find the basic element. You decide array name, index value, array element. The place insert Pascal module 2, Fortran, PLI, Ada mark, etc. The same mark are used for parameter, then this readability and can introduce ambiguity. The types and array definition, the value being stored in array cells. There are different types of array: single dimensional array, two dimensional array, multi-dimensional array. Single dimensional array means only one subscript. Only one subscript. Suppose for example int a square bracket. That is an array declaration. How array initialization? There are two methods for array initialization. First method is int a square bracket 5 equal to curly braces 5 value initialized to the array. Next once we not declare the array size, only empty bracket. The each or how much want uh, value enter the at runtime. What is runtime and compile time? Runtime means the value entered at runtime, that is called runtime initialization. What is compile time initialization? Compile time means the value given to the compile time. The array categories stack, dynamic, range, and storage are dynamic but fixed from the non for variable is lifetime. You declare books, books, library, index, etc. Array dimension. Some language limit the number of dimensions an array can be have. For the limit to 3 dimension, the Fortran 4 onward up to 7 dimension. The Java limit to 1, but array can be nested array elements in array, allowing for any number of dimension. Most other language have no restriction. The array initialization. Here, the Fortran 77 initialize time storage is allocated. The C length of array simply is based on the length of initialization. The array operation. The array operation that apply to arrays unit opposed to single array element in the most language direct assignment of one array to another if both arrays are equivalent for an array addition a plus b. Array operation Java arrays object sometimes called aggregate types. Declaration array may omit size in array 1. The array 1 is a pointer initialized to nil. Later point the array may be get memory allocated. Example array 1 new int. The array operation other than access through methods such as array length. Next, implementation of array in the access function may be substitute expense to address in the array. The measure of rows by rows or column measure order by columns. Associate is another collection of data elements that are indexed by equal number of values called keys. What is a form of reference to elements? The Perl associative array. The primitive data for hash table like a associative array in the index not by consecutive integers but by arbitrary keys. The refers to associative array records. A record is a possible heterogeneous record of data elements which individual elements are identified in the names. The record. Next topic is going to thread. A thread is a basic implicit utilization. The computer can understand any binary language, high-level language cannot understand. Who will be the essential resource? The process can be thought of a program in execution. Today, computers support multiple processes actually executing at the same time. The thread is a unit of execution within a process. A process can have anywhere from just one thread to many threads. Today, single process have multiple threads. A process execute a program, you can have multiple processes executing the same program, but each process has its own copy of the program with its own address space and executed independently of the other copies. Here topic is the thread shared variable need for synchronization synchronized semaphore, thread safety and redundancy, race and deadlocks. The thread is the process means in the programming execution. The fork and the fork is used for creating the new copy of the calling function. The newly created process known as a child process, and the process from the child process create is known as parent process. The process can be created by the voice or by the other process. The parent process create a child process using system call such as fork. A child process created by a parent process. The fork means create a new process. The system call is basically to request a service from kernel to schedule the process. The fork means fork again no argument. The process ID of the child process written by the system call. After creation of the process, both parent and child process start execution from the next instruction. The value of returns the criteria fork. The successful creations you get fork less than 0 is error. The system is out of memory. The new process cannot be created as is written. The fork greater than 0 it is successful created new process. A fork less than 0 it will be error. The child process can be created by the parent process. After this both this process will start execution from the next instruction. It is running concurrent program. The fork is system call which is used to create new process. New process created by the fork system call is called child process, and the process that invoke fork system call it is called parent process. The code of child process same as code of parent process. The child process create both parent and child process start the execution from the next statement. Okay, the fork and both process that execute simultaneously. The vfork is also system call which is used to create new process. The new process created by the vfork system call is called child process. The process that invoked vfork system call is called parent process. The code of child process same as code of parent process. Child process suspend execution of parent process until child process complete execution as both process the same address space. What is the difference between fork and vfork? It is a process. The process also support multiple thread. For example, you can't have the different ways. In early traditional thread have only one task complete at a time. Today now a computer is full of multiple thread. The completed task, multiple tasks completed at a time. The difference between fork and vfork in the fork system called child and parent process have separate memory space or vfork. While in vfork system call child and parent process share the same address space. The child process and parent process get executed simultaneously. Only once the child process executed, then parent process start its execution. The child process does not suspend parent process execute fork system call. The child process suspend, parent process executes before system call. The space of one process is not affected by page of another process. The page of one process affected by page of another process. The whole system call is more used. The VFOG system call is less used. There is a waste of address space. There is no waste of address space. If child process alter page in address space, it is invisible to parent process. It is visible to parent process. The concurrent thread execution here so the thread A, thread B, thread C at a time multiple tasks complete at a multiple tasks complete at a time. What is thread? Thread and process. Thread and process are similar. Each has one logical control. Each can run concurrently. Each is context switched. How thread and process are different. The thread share code and data process deeply do not. Threads are somewhat less expensive than process. The process control creating and processing typing do not. The threads are somewhat less expensive than process. The process control creating and reaping its twice expensive thread control. Linux Pentium is their numbers. Minus 20k cycle to create repair process. Cycles to create a repair thread. Here the POSIX thread, P thread standard infers 60 functions that manipulate the C program, creating wrapping threads. The user mode is mode of save, and because that most of the program executing user mode, but when the program is executing user mode, it may need access to some of the resource like memory hardware. Soon as when the program is need access to this resource, it makes a call to the OS, tell that it needs access to the certain resource, so it makes a call. The program is switched from user mode to kernel mode so that it can use this resource. The call that program in order to access this resource or to go into the kernel mode, that call an analysis system call. The calls may made by the program when it need to access certain resource. So when a program is executing user mode, I need to be switched to kernel mode for a particular time. Example for a system call sequence for writing a simple program to read data from one file and copying to another file. Write a program. The traditional heavyweight process has a single thread of control. If a process has multiple thread of control, it can perform more than task at a time. The whole process are multi-threaded. The single process and having multi-threaded, there are three in the process. Each have one stack and register, code and data and files, register and stack. The multiple task at a time with the multiple thread. It's shared with other thread belong to the same process. It code section, data section, and other OS sections such as operator and signals. The execution of thread, hello world. Create a new thread. Exit the share variable thread C programs. Which variable thread C program are share variables? What is memory model for thread? Example thread accessing another thread stack. Here main function int I b thread d type char star means it is a special pointer variable. Hello from foo, hello from bar. The closing main function. The pointer to message. Here the for loop. Here to take the two values passing using thread. The thread routine. The mapping maps to memory instance. Next, shared variable analysis. A variable access shared if multiple thread left one variable access shared if multiple thread at least one instance of x thus and message are shared. The code for counter. The concurrent execution. Concurrent execution means the one or multiple tasks executed at a time. It is a progress graph how the process working. Each point corresponding process execution rate. Denotes that thread 1 has completed L1 and thread 2 has completed S2. Next, charges in the programs graphs is sequence of registered chances to describe one possible concurrent execution of thread. Here also critical section and unsafe regions. The response is shared variable content syntax and critical section. Next step we will going to the structures. Already I explained what is variable, array, and structure. Variable means only one value into the variable. They not declare multiple value. It is overcome to the next array. Array store single in multi-store multiple value and single data type, and not store multiple data type. But it overcomes structure. The structure store different data type at a time. Structure is a heterogeneous and array is a homogeneous. Structure store is, for example, class student have 16 student. The class name, student name, address, mark, section is all data stored in the structure. A structure is a user defined data type. It is easy to declare, define the program. It is easy to readability, understandability. It is easy to understand the other programmer. Unlike Java, C does not automatically define function for instance and printing. Such a represent is size here. Such is a keyword. Such is a keyword. Is a structure name. Char C1, char C2. Int I. It is not variable. It is a structure variable. What is here for 4.c1 equal to a 4.c2 could be the dot means we access the value, access the structure variable using dot operator. The type of means the mechanism create type names, and the names are aligned for some other type to do the boilerplate and the character of the program. The constant is the same constant throughout the program. Here the define the size 10 into array size define once use the throughout the program for equal size less than size. The array of structure. What is the array of structure? Array of structure means to store different data type. The array means the multiple value give to the array of structure. This is reduce memory space, quick accessibility, quickly running. It is very high efficiency. It's execution for less time. Next, pointer to structure. The pointer is represented by asterisk symbol, star symbol. Here in the date, month, in the year, we also year used to be access the pointer, address of the another variable, store the address of the another variable. Another popular three-dimensional arrays. Implementable multi-dimensional array. And the 3D array has exactly 3 dimensions. It can be visualized to collection of 2D arrays stacked on top of each other to create a third dimension. The syntax of third array is an array in size 1, size 2, size 3. To know more about multi-dimensional arrays, refer to this article, multi-dimensional array relation between array and pointers. We can calculate the address of AIG in the row major order given the spaces. Let the length of each row in the array be row length equal to height 2 minus low 2 plus 1. Address of AIG is I equal to low 1 into row length into size. The relation between array and pointers closely relate to each other such that we can use pointer to perform all the possible operation of the array. The array name is a constant pointer to the first element of the array, and array decays to the pointers when passed to the function. The passing array to a function in C. The array is always passed to pointer to function C. Whenever we try to pass an array to function, it decays the pointer and then pass it pointer to the first element of the array. The return array from a function is, if we can only return a single value from a function to return multiple value or elements, we have to use pointers. We can return array from function using pointer to the first element of that array. You may notice that we declare static array using static keyword. This is due to the fact that when a function return a value, all the local variable and other entities declared inside the function are deleted. So if we create a local array instead of static, we will get a segmentation fault while trying to access the array in the main function. The properties of array in C. Yeah, it's very important to understand the properties of the C array too, so that we can avoid bugs while using it. The following are the main properties of array in C. Fixed size. Array in C is a fixed size collection of elements. The size of array must be not the compile time and cannot be changed declared. Homogeneous collection. We can only store one type of element in an array. There is no restriction on the number of elements, but the type of all these elements must be the same. Index in array. The array index always start with 0 in C language. It means that index of the first element of the array will be 0 and the last element will be n minus 1. Next, dimensions of the array. The dimensions of array is the number of index required to refer to element in the array. It is the number of direction in which will grow on the array size. Quantity storage. All the elements in the array are stored continuously one after another in the memory. It is one of the defining properties of the array in C, which also reason why random access is possible in the array. Random access in the array in C provide random access to each element. That is, we can get a random element at any index of the array in constant time. The complete just by using the index number. No index out of bound checking. There is no index out of bound checking in C, C++. For example, the following proper compile find but may produce export output any. The advantage of arrays and the random and fastest of element using the array index. The use of fewer lines of code as it creates a single array of multiple elements that travels through the array became easy using a single loop. The sorting became easy as it can be accommodated by writing fewer lines of code. The disadvantage of array in C allow fixed number of elements to be entered, which is decided at the time of declaration. Unlike the linked list, the array in C is not dynamic. Insertion and deletion of element can be costly since the elements are needed to be rearranged after insertion and deletion. Conclusion: the array is one of the most used and important data structure in C. It is one of the core concepts of C language that is used in every other program. Though it is important to know about its limitation so that we can take advantage of the functionality. The array is a fixed size. The frequently asked question in C array. The array is a fixed size homogeneous collection of elements that are stored in contiguous memory allocation. How to declare array in C? Data type, array name, size. How to initialize an array in C? Using initialize list, using loop. Why do we need array? We can use normal variable v1, v2, v3. When we have a small number of objects, but we want to store large number of instances, it becomes difficult to manage them with normal variables. The idea of array is to represent many instances on the variables. How can we determine the size of the C array? We can determine the size of the array using the size of operating C. We first get the size of a whole array and divide it by the size of each element type. What is difference between array and pointers? The point is a derived data type that can store address of other variables. The array is a homogeneous collection of items in any type such as int, char, etc. The pointers are allocated at runtime. The arrays are allocated at runtime. The point is a single variable. The array is a collection of variables of the same type. Uh, Point is a dynamic in nature. Array is a static in nature. Next topic will explain about the pointers. The pointer, one of the core components of the C programming language. A pointer can be used to store the memory address of other variable function or even other pointers. These are pointers allows low-level memory access, dynamic memory allocation, and many other functionality in C. In this article, we discuss pointers in detail, their types, uses, advantages, and disadvantages with the example. What is pointer in C? A point is a derived data type that can store address of other C variables or memory location. We can access and manipulate the data stored in memory location using pointer. As the pointer store memory addresses, their size is independent of the type of data they are pointing to. The size of pointers only depend on the size system architecture. The syntax of pointer is similar to the variable declaration C, but when you're using the asterisk difference operator in the pointer declaration, the point is the name of the pointer, and the data type is the type of data it's pointing to. Therefore, syntax is to define the pointer is a variable. We can also define pointer to function structure, etc. How to use pointer? The pointer can be divided into three types: pointer declaration, pointer initialization, differencing. The pointer declaration, we only declare the pointer but do not initialize. To declare pointer, we use a asterisk difference operator before it names. Example, in this star pointer, the pointer declared here will point to some random memory addresses. As it is not initialized, such pointer are called while pointer. pointer initialization. How to pointer initialization? The pointer initialization is the process where we assign some initial value to the pointer variable. We generally use the ampersand address of operator to get the memory address of the variable and store it in the pointer variable. We can also declare the initialize the point. It is a simple step. This method is called pointer definition. As the pointer is declared and initialized at the same time. Note it is recommended that the pointer should be always initialized to some value before starting is use it. Otherwise, it may lead to number of errors. Difference. The difference point is the process of assigning the value stored in the memory addresses specified in the pointer. We use the same difference operator that we use it in the pointer declaration. The type of pointers. The pointer can be classified into the integer pointers. As the name suggests, these are the pointers that point to the integer value in the star pointer. This pointer pronounces a pointer to integer. Similarly, the pointer can point to any primitive data type. It can point to derived data types such as array and user data types such as. Next subtopic is array pointer. The pointer and array closely relate to each other. Even the array name is the pointer to its first element. They are also known as pointer to array. We can create a pointer to array using the given syntax. The pointer to array exhibits some interesting properties which we discussed later in the article. The structure pointer. The point is the structure types is called a structure pointer or pointer to structure. It can be declared the same way. We can declare other primitive type. The function pointer. The function pointer points to function. They are different from the rest of the pointers in the sense that instead of pointing to the data, the point is the code. Let's consider a function prototype in function in char. The function point is this function will be. Next is topic explained with the double pointers. The C language we can define pointer that stores memory address of another pointer. Such pointers are called double pointer or pointer to pointer. Instead of pointer to data value, they points to another pointer. Next, the difference of double pointer. The pointer name get the address store. The pointer name get the values pointer. Next, null pointer. The null pointers are those pointers that do not to point to any memory location. That can be created by assigning a null value to the pointer. A pointer of any type can be assigned the null value. The void pointer. Void means empty. The void point in C or the point of the type void. It means that do not have any associated data type. That they are also called generic pointers. That they can point to any type. They can be typecast to any data type. Next, while pointer. The while pointers are pointers that have not been initialized with something yet. This type of C pointers can use problem in our program. Can be usually cause them to crash. Next, constant pointer. The constant pointer, the memory address stored inside the point is constant, cannot be modified once it's defined. It will always point to the same address space. Next final topic is pointer to constant. The pointer pointed to constant value that cannot be modified is called pointer to constant. Here we can only access the data pointed with as a pointer but cannot be modified, although we can change the address stored in the pointer. Other types of pointer in C: far pointer, diagonal pointer, huge pointer, near pointer, normalized pointer, file pointer. The size of pointer in C. The size of pointer in C equal for every pointer type. The size of pointer does not depend on the type it is pointing to. It only depends on the operating system and CPU architecture. The size of pointer in C is 8-bit for the 60-bit system, 4 bytes for 30-bit system. The reason for this same size is that the point store the memory addresses no matter what type they are. As the base required to store the address of the different memory locations is the same, the memory required by one pointer type will be equal to memory required by other point type. How to find the size of pointer? See, we can find the size of pointers using the size of operator as on in the following program. Next important topic is the pointer arithmetic. The pointer arithmetic refers to the legal or value arithmetic operation that can be performed on a pointer. It is slightly different from the ones that we generally use the mathematical calculation as only limited set of operation can be performed the pointers. This operation include the increment different types. They are increment in a pointer, decrement in a pointer, addition of integer to a pointer, subtraction of integer to a pointer, subtracting two pointers of the same type, conversion of pointers of the same type, assignment of pointers of the same type. The pointer type is increment in pointer, decrement in a pointer, addition of integer to a pointer. So assignment programming language pointers are first element. For example, have an array named value, then value and values can be used interchangeably. If you say assign the value to a non-constant pointer of the same type, then
using the pointer. The accessing array element the use of pointer. Accessing array elements, return multiple value from dynamic memory allocation, implement data over. The advantage of pointers. Following the major advantage of pointers, the pointers are used for dynamic memory allocation and deallocation. An array or structure can be pointers. The pointer is used to form complex data such as a linked list, graph, tree, etc. The pointers reduce the length of the program and its execution time is well. The disadvantage of pointers in the memory corruption is can incorrect values provided pointers. The pointers are a little bit complex to understand. The pointers are majorly responsible for memory leaks in C. The pointers are comparatively slower than variable C. Unnecessary pointer might cause a segment fault. Conclusion. Etc. But as the powerful as they are, they should be used with responsibility as they one of the most variable part of the language. Once I can review the pointers, the pointers are variables that can store memory as of another variable. What is difference between constant pointer and pointer to a constant? The constant pointer points a fixed memory location. We cannot change the memory address stored inside the constant pointer. What is type? The pointer size does not depend upon a time. It only depends on the operating system and the CPU architecture. What is the difference between array and pointer? Runtime. Arrays are like it's a runtime. The point is a single variable. The arrays are collection of variable of the same time. Why do we need to specify the type in the pointer? The type specific in the point declaration helps the compiler dereferencing and the pointer arithmetic operation. Next up with the function. The program. The advantage of the code easily. Usability is the main achievement of the C function. The syntax of function C return type function named Erode parameter. The type of function, there are two types of function: user defined function and built-in function. The return value, a C function may or may not return value from the function. If you don't have return value from the function using void for the return type, the void means empty. Yeah, int floater is means return type. The example of without return type means using void. Here this small program using void. Here only the no return type one. Next, different aspect of function calling. There are four different aspects of function calling. The four different types of function calling. Different aspect of function called function without argument, without return value, function without argument with return value, function with argument and without return value, the function with argument with return value. Here, example for function with without argument, without return type. Here, the first one is without no argument and without return value. Here, the example is header file. Header file is main function declaration. Below main function, the print of hello. The function calling is there. Here, without return type. Without return type means in the printf statement only in the main function is whenever calling the print the value in the main function. That is one is the difference between the actual parameter and the formal parameter. The actual parameter, the value is passed to the formal parameter. The formal parameter, the value receive the actual parameter. The same is the call by reference, call by value. Here next one is example for function without argument with return value. Without argument means in formal and actual parameter does not give argument, only return value, return some value. Here is a simple program is there. Main function, function declaration. The function declaration ending with the semicolon is main function. The main function is calculate the sum of two numbers and the printf state. Here I explain without argument with return value. With return value means in the printf statement, the print the value in the main function. Next is the output going to here output. Next one is with the argument without return. Here the value passed to the actual parameter to the formal parameter, and here does not return value. Here is a simple example: header file, declaration, main function, result printf, scanf. Here without return type, without return value. Without return value means and the print the value in here. Final is for function with argument with return value. Function declaration main function with return value. Here going to calculate the sum of two numbers. Enter two numbers. The user enter numbers. Here one second I will explain. Main header file, function prototype, main function, declare variables. User enter the value, the store the values. So this function calling whenever the actual parameter is formal passed to the formal parameter and the value is processed, again the value is again back to the main function. That is a return. Here is going to calculate the sum of two numbers, enter two numbers, then sum is 30. Next up will explain about the storage classes. What is storage classes? In the storage it's a variable function. These features basically include the scope, visibility, and lifetime, which help to trace the extent of particular variable during the runtime of program. The C language is the four storage classes: auto, external, static, register. Auto means it's automatic. It is a default. Means it is a external data segment, and static means data also data segment. Register means CP register. Auto initial value is garbage value. Extends initial value is 0. Static default value is 0. Register default means garbage value. What is garbage value means? It is an unvested value. What is scope time? Scope means scope multiple time, and registers within the block, and the auto's lifetime is block is end of block. The extends till end of the program. Static till end of the program. Register end of block. Once I will explain the storage capacity. There are four types: storage specifier, auto, extend, static storage. Storage means the stack at the initial values. Garbage value. Garbage value means some unvested value. Scope. Data scope means within the block. Within the block means open prices and closing prices. And next, the lifetime is end of block. Next, second one is external. External means data segment. External means like it's a global variable. Global variables the value as the value assessed the outside the program. Assess a value in anywhere in the program. The initial value is 0 and scope is multiple times, and the lifetime is till end of the program. Static means data the same as storage is data segment, and initial value is 0 and scope is within the block, and the lifetime is still end of program. Register CP garbage value within the block, end of block. Why is it register? And the mostly in the instruction directly stored in the register is a fast execution. Fast execution is not a direct access to the program. Next we will clearly one by one explain the auto. Auto means it is a default storage. The classes for all the variable declared inside the function array block. Hence, the keyword auto is rarely used in the while writing program in the C language. Auto variable can be only accessed in the block or function they have been declared and not outside them, which define the scope. Of course, this can be accessed in the nested block within the parent block function, which is the auto variable is declared. However, they can access outside the scope as well using the concept of pointers. Given here by pointing to the very exact memory location where the variables reside, they are assigning a garbage value by default whenever they extend. Second storage class is extend. What is extend means is also a global variable. Global variable means the value accessing anywhere in the program. Anywhere in the program. The extend storage class simply tells us that the variable depending elsewhere is not in the same block where it is used. Basically, the value is sent in the different block, and this can be overwritten, changed in the different block as well. So, can the external variable is nothing but global variable is essentially with legal value where it is declared in order to be used elsewhere. It can be accessed within the block function or block. Also, on the normal global variable can be made external will be pressing the external keyword before a declaration definition on a function block. The basically in the signifies we are not instance a new variable, but instead we are using access a global variables only. The main purpose of using SQL variables is that can be accessed between two different files which are part of a large program. Next is static. Static is its default value is uh, next is static variable. The storage classes is to declare static variable within property using while writing program in C language. The static variable have the properties of preserving the value even after they are out of the scope. Hence, the static variable preserve the value of the last is in the scope. Say that instance only once and exists till the termination of the program. Thus, new memory allocated because they are not declared. The scope is located to the function to which they were defined. The global static variable can be accessed anywhere in the program. By default, they assign it to value 0 by the compiler. Here in the program, he declared four function calling four times. Next is finally is a register variable. The register, so we can also keep some register variable. The register variable, some the value stored directly stored in the register. The register places near the CPU. Near the CPU, the register has limited phase, is not space available. It will treat variables auto variables that have the same functionality as that of the auto variables. The only difference the compile tries to store this variable in the register and make the use of register variable to is much faster than the variable stored in the memory. In free register is not available. These are that stored in the memory only. Used in the free variables which are to access register keyword which improve the running time of program. Not an interesting point to the notice here is that we cannot open the here the storage is some lifetime is local, scope is local within function. Storage gas external, lifetime is global, global in all function. Static lifetime is global, scope time local, register lifetime local, global. Next up, we'll about the structure. What before what is difference between variable, array, structure? The variable means only one value introduced to the variable. It cannot multiple value introduced to the variable. Suppose we declare multiple variables and initialize multiple value take more time. It is difficult to uh, create a program. In array means at a time, array means homogeneous data type, homogeneous store multiple value at same data type, not different data type. uh, that is also store different data type in the array, but it is overcome with the structure. The structure store different data type. Different data type, if suppose the class have 60 students, 60 students have store name, roll number, subject, mark, address, etc. Store at a time different data type stored multiple students. What is start is a keyword. Start is a keyword. The structure is a defined is the keyword. with the name employee. It has two member variable, an integer id and the character array. What is the key structure keyword in C? A such is a keyword used to define structure in C. The structure in C is a user different data type that store different data type variable under one user different data type. The structure variable are used to access the member of the structure. The structure must be defined before use. Here's a three different method to define structure: variable structure, tagged structure, type defined structure. Here the structure variable, the variables are defined. Here start double x double y points. Here it is a member name double x double y double x double y. It is a member name. It's not a variable. It's ending with the pointer name. Structure name is a point is a semicolon. The structure is a user defined data type that can be items of different types. In activities is to define the structure in the C program language. The item structure are called member and they can be of any valued data type. First, we before is explanation, variable declaration, variable initialization, array declaration, array initialization, how assess the how assess value from the array. Here also structure declaration, structure initialization, how assess the value in the structure. We have to declare structure in C before using it in our program. In such a declaration, we receive it member variable along with their data types. We can use the start keyword to declare the structure and use the following syntax. Here, the structure name, data type member name one, data type member name one. The structure ending with a semicolon. The above syntax is called structure template or structure prototype, and no memory is allocated structure in the variable. When the memory is allocated, when the variable is declared, then only the memory's allocation is possible. See structure definition. To use structure in our program, this is structure in our program. You get to define it in instance. We do not. We can do that by creating variables of the structure. Structure type. We can define structure variable using two methods. The structure variable declaration with structure template. Here this example. Um, Struct point double x double y. Here it is outside. It is inside. Declare inside. The structure variable declare after structure template. Here, this case, his case in the structure variable declaration after structure template. This case, the structure variable, the structure declaration with structure template. First I will explain declaration with structure, initializing with the structure. Next, how to assess the value in the structure using dot operator. We can assess structure member by using dot operator. Syntax in the structure: name dot member one, structure name dot member two. In the case where we have pointed to structure, we can also use the R operator to assess the member. The initialize structure member. The structure member cannot be initialized with the declaration. For example, the following C program fail in the compilation. The reason for the above error is simple. When data type is declared, no memory is allocated for it. Memory is allocated only when variables created. We can initialize structured memory in three ways, which are follows: using assignment operator, using initialize list, using designed, using designated initialize list. Initialization is using assignment operator. Str dot member one equal to value one, str dot member two equal to value two, str dot member three to value three. Initialize using initialize list. Initialize is using designate initialize list. Using the access memory variable, this variable may be like another variable. Here, the access point one. The point one is a structure name dot x. That variable access the value. Next, R operator is to access member using pointer. The R operator syntax. And next, dot operator syntax. The type of structure keyword is used to define arrays for the already existing data type in structure. We have to use the start keyword along with the structure name to define the variable. Sometimes this increase the length and the complexity of the code. We can use the type of to define some new sort of name of the structure. Next subtopic is nested structure. The C language allows to insert one structure into another as a member. This process called nesting, and such structure is called nested structure. There are two ways which we can nest one structure into another. Embedded structure nesting. In this method, the structure being nested is also declared inside the parent structure. Parent structure here, uh, the parent structure inside structure. The structure may inside the time is declared, other is inside, other is essential. The separate structure nesting. This two structure are declared separately and then member structure is nested inside the parent structure. One thing note that here that the declaration of the structure should always present before a definition of structure member. For example, the declaration below is invalid as the structure mem is not defined when it is declared inside the parent structure. Assessing and nested members. We can access nested members by using dot operator two times as shown. Um, we can define the pointer that points to structure like any other variable. Such pointer generally called structure pointers. We can access the member of the structure pointed by the structure pointer using R operator. The use of structure in C, the use of structure in C, the structure can be used to define the custom data type that can be used to create some complex data types such as dates, time, complex number, etc., which are not present in the language. It can also use it in the data organization where a large number of data can be stored in different fields. The structures are used to create data. The structures such as tree, linked list, etc., they can all be used for returning multiple values from a function. The limitation of C structure, the higher memory concentration it is used to structure padding, no data hiding. C structure do not permit data hiding. The structure members can be accessed by any function anywhere in the scope of the structure. The function inside structure, the C structure do not permit function inside structure. So we cannot provide the associate function. Static members in the C structure cannot have static member inside body. The construction is created in the structure. The structure is in C cannot have a construct in the inside structure. Next topic will explain about the array within structure. A structure is a data type in C or C++ that allows group of later variables to be treated as single unit instead of separate entities. A structure may contain elements of different data types, int, char, float, double, etc. It may be also contain array as its members, such as array is called array within the structure. An array within the structure is a member of the structure and can be accessed just to be access the other elements of the structure. Below is the demonstration of the program that is the concept of array within the structure. The program displays the record of the student comprising the roll number, grade, and marks according to every subject. The marks in various subjects have been stored under an array called marks. The whole record is stored under a structure called candidate. Array of structure. The array is a collection of data items of the same type. Each element of the array can be int, char, float, double, or even structure. We have seen that the structure allows elements of different data type, new data type itself. So an array can comprise elements of new data type. An array of structure find it application in grouping a recording together and providing for a fast access. The below is the demonstration of array structure. The array holds details of student in a class. The details include the roll number, grade, and marks, which have been grouped under structure. They exist one record for each student. This how collection of related variables can be assembled under a single entity for enhancing the clarity of code and increase efficiency. Here also in the array of structure, it declare array here in the typed of member start is a keyword. It declares unsigned cover red green process unstructured member. It is a template as a template here. We declare structure of array. The pixel map dot red 127 dot green 0 and dot 258. The difference between array of structure, array within structure. A structure contain array is its member variable can be accessed using dot operator. The array which element type structure. Just we assess the element of the structure. In assess of indexing, just we can assess an array. The structure is a parameter. The struct like an int may be passed to a function. The process work just like a passing an int. Passing an int. A structure is a parameter. Struct like an int may be passed to a function. A process work just like a passing an int, and in that the complete structure is copied to a stack. The call function is unable to modify the call copy of the variable. The distance of the passing structure by value in the copying large structure into stack is inefficient, may cause stack overflow. The structure point is a parameter. The more efficient the pass, the address of the structure passing address required that only single word be pushed on the stack, no matter the size. The call function can then modify the structure. The structure point is the parameters. Here the type of structure is a template. Here double is a two structure member declare, and here the ending with the semicolon. Here the main function. Here is the pointer variables. Access the member, access the value, access the value using dot operator. The constant struct parameter. What if you want the reception to be able to the modify structure? Is using the const modifier. This is also simple program. It's the same concept. Returning structure point to local variable. What is local variable? The local variable means the value accessed in the block, and global variable means the value accessed outside the block. Returning structure pointed to local variable. The reason the function is returning a pointer to variable that was allocated on the stack during execution of the function. Such variable subject to being wiped out by subsequent function call. The function returns structure values. It is possible for function to return a structure. This facility depends upon the structure assignment mechanism which copies one complete structure to another. Avoid the unsafe condition associated with the return pointer, but incurs in the possibly extreme penalty of copying the very large structure. The function retains such a variable here declaring the structure red, green, blue, and the function here declare structure pixel tp00 and calling and execute the program. The array is a parameter and return. The array address is passed as a parameter, similarly passing by reference embedded array in structure. The only way to pass an array by value, it is an embedded in the structure. The one way to the return the array is embedded in the structure. Both involve copying. The array is